This is the story of a man, an eccentric, sociopathic man. I believe his name was supposed to be pronounced Digirati, like Illuminati, but this was so long ago, we didn't have voice chat. I know that may be an unfamiliar concept to possible future viewers, that there was in fact a time in online video gaming when not every game had voice chat in it. I mean, Pokemon Unite on the Nintendo Switch has voice chat. Everything has voice chat. No one really had voice chat with Final Fantasy 11 because a lot of us, including myself, we were PlayStation 2 players. Sorry, it ain't on PC. Don't got the gyms and the jams to do the thing. Digirati, this guy was, he was weird, man. It was really weird. I mean, I still don't know a lot about him. I don't know if I'll ever know a lot enough about him, frankly. He was one of those level 75 red mages that already had everything. You know, like W legs, joyous, every single max MP item you could ever possibly want for those big chain spell nukes that let you do things you probably shouldn't be able to do. He had all of that. And then he started getting on just conquest. I have to do everything. I must do all the things. That's how I met him. Met him through what the heck was that thing called? Garrison. No one did Garrison. I remember throughout the many years I played, I saw a Garrison occurring a couple times, and one time I asked in Solaris, I was like, "What is all these like goblins that these people are fighting near the outpost?" And Synastity says, "Oh, that's Garrison. Americans don't do it because they're pussies." And he was right. I didn't even know what the heck it was. I mean, there wasn't even really a good comprehensive website back then. Alakazam was just getting going. I don't think Blue Garter was really like this public database and community forum at that time yet either. So no one had just like this thing you could be like, hey, go to this thing, read the thing, and now you can do the thing. Boom, done. Like wikis and all that. Again, not a thing back then during the Final Fantasy 11. And Digirati just starts telling people, hey, if you know someone who wants a mannequin and they're not trying to sell the parts, they actually want the mannequin. That's the way I recall it. Maybe he didn't give a crap. He probably didn't give a crap. That may be me superimposing my opinion on the past because I'm an old piece of crap. But I do remember being one of the few people invited to be like, "Hey, let's go to Cape Terragon and do the level 75 Garrison to get mannequin parts." And I think maybe I feel this way as a tank and a healer. I think Garrison was the most stressful group activity in that game. Like I went in there as a white mage. Like I wanted to go in as a paladin, but there was already enough paladins in there. Digirati himself, I think, was starting as paladin, but I believe he eventually started doing them as red mage. Um, Garrison, if you die one time, you lose the Garrison buff. It doesn't matter if you're raised; you can't participate anymore. You cannot die. Healers are integral. Also, if the NPCs that are stupid die, it's a failure. It's 3 waves, and the size of the waves is dependent on the number of alliances that are doing the garrison. And each wave has a notorious monster with it, and it's like a little mini Dynamis with all the stress and anxiety compressed into a very short amount of time. And I loved doing it as white mage. To be perfectly honest with you, the worst thing about white mage, in my opinion, was that everyone always wants you to give them, oh, give me raise 3. Well, nope, I'm in the middle of Garrison. I ain't spending 350 MP just to keep your EXP safe. I'm doing this right now. So when someone dies, it's like, sucks to be you. Shoulda maybe stayed near when I'm doing Curaga 3. Like that's important. Pay attention to the macros with the calls in it. Like, I'm not gonna go stand near a bunch of AoEs, bomb tosses. You're gonna come near me. You want the heals. Ugh. Uh, that's the thing about being a healer is you want to help people, but they don't help themselves. Just, but we started off pretty rough. I remember that. A couple people did not want to come back because it was very chaotic and no one really knew what they were doing. Well, we kept at it. Digirati had instituted a rule that when any of the Mirate's memoirs drop, the people who died, they get those to help recover some of the EXP they lost. No one else should lot on those. Otherwise, you're a dick and you're going to get kicked from the group. Like, as that's the thing. He was a strange person. He was very sociopathic, but he had this strange self-righteous honor system with these bizarre eclectic rules that no one but him understood. And I think the best way to sum up is just don't be a dick, and you're not going to piss the guy off. That seems pretty simple. Okay, look, I was taught at a young age, don't be a dick. As often as you can. Everyone's a dick sometimes, but as often as you can, don't be a dick, and you'll get along with people pretty good. After a while, we got all the manic parts from this and that Garrison, and Digirati starts asking me like, "Hey, you want to come do white mage for me? Give me some raise 3s because I want to go try this stupid thing." And I think a lot of people, they would maybe see or hear that and think, "Oh yeah, you want to come be a raise 3 biscuit for this guy?" And actually, yes, because Digirati was insane. He's trying to go solo Mushushu in the bottom of whatever the f that tunnel was, tunnel number 3. Who cares? Every tunnel looked the freaking same in that game with different color palette. Gustav. It was Gustav tunnel with Voivre in it. No, wait, Voivre was on top of Ifrit's cauldron. Unger, because I wanted Unger's stupid boomerang because I was a dumb thief that wanted every evasion item possible and pretended it mattered. It rarely mattered. But he wants me to follow him around all the time. I'm gonna try to do this dumb thing. I'm gonna try to do this dumb thing. And it was just years of like, hey, you want to come do Archangel fight with our social link shell because we basically need a demigod to do it with, and he was always down to do that, because he wanted to show off because he was also very egotistical. He loved any chance to be like, hey guys, check out my dick, and it's just like the entire house just breaks apart when he opens his pants. Like, I'm not trying to like tout him up or anything. Look, the dude got perma banned. Okay, I don't even know how or why. I don't even know who he is, what his real name is, whatever. But like, I'm just saying what happened. The dude was like, if you're in trouble and you put the bat signal up, and Thor shows up instead, that's what Digirati was like. Like, the dude understood the game at like a quantum physical level. He had a lot of time to play it, because he was a computer programmer, and whenever his code was compiling, which could take a very long time, you have nothing to do. He's like, all right, I'm gonna go try to do this dumb thing in the game. That's just the kind of person he was. He had a lot of free time at work because when your code is compiling, hey, guess what? I'm totally at work, guys. Look at my computer over there with I'm working. Play some Final Fantasy over here. That's what the dude did. And then when he gets home, it's like, play some Final Fantasy. Hey, I think we're deep into this enough now that anyone watching this, let me tell you a little story Digirati shared with me one time. Um, this is a guy alert, okay? Like, I'm not gonna do a thing. I'm gonna draw it with my fingers. Boom, like the caution sign. Okay, this is a guy story. All right. Like, I don't know what time this is gonna be. Skip forward 5 minutes. I don't know. I was relaying a story to Digirati one time. When I was very young, and after I had my wisdom teeth pulled, I had all four wisdom teeth pulled at the same time. Because if I'm gonna do that, look, knock me out, tear them out, let me get done with it. That's how I handle it. And I had this stuff called oil of clove, and I was talking to some people in an IRC chat room about this stand-up comic on Comedy Central. He's talking about how it's not fair that women got like this and that, all kinds of different sex toys, and for men, it's like that's not really very fair now, is it? And then someone in the chat room is like, "Hey, you forgot about the ghost hand or the third hand." We had a lot of slang terms for it. I was like, "What?" It's like, "Oh, dude, this is the sleeper. So when you sit on your hand, make your hand go to sleep, so that your hand goes numb, and then you stroke your dick." And I was like, "Hey, I got this oil of clove. It numbs out your nerves. I'm a genius child, 19 years old, basically. I believe at the time I did this, I was 19, so I was a huge idiot. And I decide I'm gonna jump up on this freaking thing, right? I'm gonna just put it all over my hand, and then just do a thing. And that may have been a good idea if I had let the topical sink into my hand completely. But young men are very eager, so I got to work quickly. And I started thinking to myself, hey, it's actually working. I don't feel a thing. Actually, it does feel kind of warm. Actually, it feels a little hot and itchy and stinging. And I'm sweating a lot right now, and my whole chest cavity is expanding, and I'm just like, something. I don't. Oh, I need to do something about that. I just ran out the door. I'm like, dude, I have to do something about this right now. It is getting worse by the second. I just like jumped up on top of the bathroom countertop. I turned the water on, and it's one of those little teeny tiny faucets. Like, here's the rim of the sink, right? And the faucet comes over like an inch and a half over the rim of the sink. So I'm just like, okay, I have to just get all the way up on the sink right now and just turn the water on, and it's still not enough. I'm just like splashing. I'm splashing the water up on myself, and the water just makes it worse. I'm like, it's got to be because the water's cold. I'll go, the bathtub. The bathtub always gets hotter faster in America. I'm gonna turn that hot water on as high as I can go. I'm just like, for maybe about 2 seconds, it felt better, but that is probably because the hot water was like physically burning my skin, and just for a moment, the nerves went into a shock phase, trying to communicate with the brain and be like, "Hey, can you handle another pain surge right now? Because I'm okay. Here you go." The hot water did not make it better. The hot water did not make it better. And as I lie there, writhing in the bathtub, it occurred to me, Did I close those tabs of, you know, naked women that were open on my computer screen when I left my door open and ran into the bathroom? No. My mom walked in the room too. That was a fun time. You know, trying to explain to my mom who's, pounding on the door, is like, like, why are you looking at, and then trying to be like, why are you looking at pornography? And I'm just in the bathtub going like, mom, not right now. Like, it was pretty messed up time in my life. Like, my dick was on fire, getting eaten by piranhas, and yet at the same time, the flesh remained to continue being burned and bitten alive by flaming demons from the pit of Satan's fiery asshole. That continued for about 6 hours. I learned at that age to steel my nerves no matter how severe the genital pain was. I learned to persevere from that. And Digirati tells me, bro, I got a story for you. It was at a bar after work. I met this chick, and she was actually pretty cool. I don't usually go to the bars for the chicks, but she was pretty cool. She had a computer science degree. She knew what she was talking about. And we just kind of talked about nature for a while and how we both missed nature. Like, we spent too much time cooped up in, the 30th floor of a building and waiting for our code to compile all day at 2 in the morning. That's a lonely life. It can be pretty effed up sometimes. So here is his. It's, he wasn't necessarily a womanizer. I'm not gonna say that, but he certainly would never turn down a chick that actually interested him. But he wasn't interested in very many chicks. You had to be very intellectual to make him interested in you, to put it bluntly. But he was also a Casanova when he wanted to be. Straight up, this dude's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go to the big five. I'm getting a tent. I'm getting one big old sleeping bag. I'm gonna get a lamp. You know, making a list of all the stuff to bring. Condoms, lubricant, champagne, of course. Uh, you know, Dude forgot one thing. After, a night of passionate lovemaking in a tent out in the wilderness, you know, she's asleep, and he's like, hmm, I kind of gotta wash my dick off. I didn't bring any water. I didn't bring any liquid other than extra gasoline. I don't, could have used the champagne, but we drank all that already. Um, and he's a little in the after sex stupor. He's a little drunk. He's tired. It's late, and he gets the bright idea. Axe body spray. Now, if you spray it up close, it turns into a liquid for a little bit, and it makes a little bit of foam, right? That'll scrub out those pores. So he just on a full boner just takes this can of Axe, and it's just all up on his junk everywhere. And he was like, okay, let me just like rub that off with like a napkin or something, and then the fire started to bite, and it's just like I could tell, the way he described it, I could tell. It's like, yep, dude, I have felt that pain, brother. You're we are no longer alone in our agony. I have felt your suffering, my friend. And I think it was from that point forward we just were like we were cool with each other, even though we butted heads a lot. Um, Dar Dragon, me, and Digirati, we were kind of this trifecta of let's see, like Digirati was the sociopath. I think I was the psychopath, and I think Dar Dragon was just a straight man. Frankly, he was Dar Dragon was a witty, funny guy, but necessarily he was the straight man. But there came a time when Digirati was like, "Hey, that Paladin AF3 or that Paladin AF2 in Dynamis Xarcabard, I want it. I've been doing Dynamis for years, never gotten it. I was in the same situation. It took me 2.5 years at Dynamis Xarcabard to get a freaking valor surcoat to drop, and 5 minutes later, from a random mob, another valor surcoat that went to Shizuki. Maybe I think Shizuki needs to be the next video because the music he introduced me to, I still listen to this day. Shizuki was my paladin brother in that game, so it'll probably be the next video. But there was this strange group of people that we all bonded because we were all kind of a little insane, I guess. And I think that was the thing that drew us all together, was that we knew we were never going to really fit in with most people, and having another person you could just kind of be like, hey, let's go do this stupid thing together. That's kind of what we were. But Digirati also had the pride, and he was said, you know what, I'm going to get that valor circle by myself. So he maxed out with merit points at level 75 cap, bio 3. He got as much dark magic, intelligence, everything he possibly could. I don't know how much money he spent on re-raise gorges for re-raise 2, but it was a lot. I know it was enough that it actually started to impact his nearly impenetrable vault of money. And he uploaded a video. You know, this was like before YouTube even, I think. He uploaded a video somewhere of him running through Dynamis Xarcabard completely solo, meaning he paid 1 million gil all on his own to enter Dynamis Xarcabard solo to just keep re-raising all the way over to the Paladin NM. Hit it with Bio 3, run away, hit it with Bio 3 again, so while it resets, it's still getting ticked by Bio 3. Get up with re-raise, use the re-raise gorget, put up Stone Skin, Aqua Veil, Blink, Bio 3, Bio 3, die. Over and over. He didn't get any time extensions. He had to run in there and do this off the base time to enter with. And I mean, I believe he actually killed it. As far as I remember, I think he actually killed it. With barely, like, maybe 14 seconds left on his, before he got kicked out. But it didn't drop Surcoat. Honestly, I really wish it did. He so deserved it for running in there and doing that solo. I mean, like, that was the kind of thing that this guy did. He was completely insane. W legs made the difference, though. I envied him. I did. Because of the W legs, of course. I mean, why wouldn't you? As a tank, you want those W legs, man. It's like, don't you guys understand what W legs do on a paladin? I understand what they do on a red mage. They let that individual break the game in half. That's really cool. When a paladin has W legs, and every white mage in the Dynamis Xarcabard is dead, and everyone starts dying, That is when that paladin knows, hey, guess what? Hit yourself with the cure 4 and you start running, bro. Just start running as far back as you can. And then right when you hit a point where you're up against a wall and there's no more room to go, you hit invincible and then you run back to the party. All the damage that has been dealt to those mobs is now still intact because they have not reset, because they're all on you. You finally get back to camp. The bard sleeps them. Everyone has been raised back up. Everyone fights them, and you continue on with none of the damage lost. One paladin with W legs accomplishes and saves that much time in a single Dynamis run. That mattered a lot back then. You know, before you could solo Dynamis and it was nothing. But then came the time Digirati was like, hey, dude, I really want to get Dragoon in my just up to sub-job level. I just want to get to 37. And I just want to get through the Quiffum Island stages tonight. Could you just, like, power level me? I don't want to deal with any of the undead. I just want to fight mobs nonstop, and I don't want to deal with parties and dumbasses and their shitty pulling and all that garbage. Can you just power level me and guard me? I was like, yeah, you know what, dude? One of the fun parts about being level 75 is going back to Quiffum Island, just beating the crap out of things. So, yeah, I'll do that. I'll toss a couple Cure 2s your way every now and again. With my Vermilion Cloak on and a Hercules ring, and I'll just let myself get beat up all the time to have constant double refresh. No problem. And, you know, having the half HP, if I want to attract all the undead, I just sit down. Oh, blood aggro. Everyone come over here and let me beat the crap out of you. That was pretty fun. It was like an AoE provoke, actually. And, you know, we're at it for about an hour or so. And Digirati is like, hey, come here and trade me. And I'm like, all right. And I see a club icon in the trade window. And I'm like, what's this thing? And I D-pad down. And I look over at the tooltip and it's like, Kraken Club. And I'm like, okay, why are you showing me a Kraken Club? Why are you hitting confirm on a... Bro, you say what? I argued with him for 10 minutes. I was like, dude, I'm not driving your Rolls Royce. You know, I'm not gonna go fly your jetpack. Dude, don't give me this. And he was like, dude, I think you should experience it. And I trust you. I was like, alright, you know what? I think at this point it'd be rude. Alright. I will take your Kraken Club and I will beat up skeletons with it. And the ghosts. And some weapons. Why not? I have to say, I wish I subbed Ninja. I wish I could Kraken Club Joyous. That would have been sweet. But I understand why the Kraken Club drove people mad. Again, Shizuki, he's got to be the next video. But I swung that Kraken Club around for about 20 minutes. And I felt this feeling in the pit of my stomach. It was like, this is power. This is raw, unbridled power. It is going to change me. I was like, bro, take it back. Take it back. I don't want it. I don't want it. Just take it back. Dude, I'm so high right now. I just, like, looked at my eyes like, dude, wow. I'm like, yeah, I'm super high right now. That's pretty crazy. But, you know, I finished healing him out through the night. And, I think it was around that point that Treasures of At Urgen had come out. And Salvage, wow, Salvage again, taking my friends from me. That's why I don't like Salvage. There was a exploit in Salvage, and I don't know if Digirati was down with this, which isn't to say that I'm absolutely saying that he did not or would not or could not do this sort of thing or be down with it. I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, he had enough integrity to not be cool with it. Um, but if you beat the salvage boss and the alliance leader dissolved the alliance, it created the treasure pool 3 times, 1 time for each party, multiplying the drops of body pieces from salvage. And around that time, a lot of people got permabanned. That was one of the first big times that Square Enix came down and was like, "Yo, we're gonna start permabanning people now. We haven't really done this before on a large scale, but remember what you guys did with Absolute Virtue? Remember that? Remember how Square Enix unfairly banned an entire Link shell for just playing the game with the pathfinding algorithm that didn't work very well? Remember that time? I remember that time. I'll never forget that time, actually, when they banned an entire group of people who fought really hard and played their game dedicatedly and devotedly. And they just were like, hey, because you fought Absolute Virtue next to a wall, they just snuffed out those people's entire careers, everything, because they fought Absolute Virtue next to a wall. That wasn't very cool, like, maybe you should have hired these people on to play test your game because they could apparently do it better than you. But instead, Square Enix just was like, bye, permaban. So, I don't know if Digirati was down with doing that. I don't know if he knew they were going to do that. I don't know if it was a meta thing to just do that and the group he was with decided to break party and he didn't know they were going to do that. But personally, I can't bring myself to think that he went into an alliance intentionally trying to duplicate the drops, because he likes to do things the hard way. That I think there's still a video of him on YouTube soloing Cemetery Cherry as a ninja. Like, this was a guy who liked to do things as the most difficult way imaginable. So I can't imagine him cheating on purpose like that. But unfortunately, he was the first person I knew to lose a Kraken club. To get permabanned with a Kraken club in their inventory. The other person, as is now the 3rd time I mentioned him, is Shizuki, unfortunately, my fellow paladin brother. Wow, I'm high as hell. I talked for 33 and a